Hi, I'm Dave. Welcome to the shop. If you've been here before, you know the drill. So what I've got going here is a tea caddy cart bedside table thing. Maybe eventually it'll come up with a good name for it, but right now I'm at a loss. Anyway, I want to work on the basis of the top panel of it, the actual top that'll set on the very top of the crib. And it's 5 pieces of wood, right? It's 2 long pieces, 2 short pieces. They fit together. I've got some plows that I've made in them. And I've made a tongue on a panel board that'll go in the center. And I want to hook the pieces together. I've got some clamps. And the first thing I want to do, I'm going to use some Gorilla Glue, which means I'm going to wet and dampen these edges that are mating together, because what's going to hold it together, at least initially, is this joint right here. This little tongue and groove joint is going to hold it together. The panel, I want to be able to have come and go in the weather, humidity. It's what tears furniture apart. It's what drives furniture makers to using plywood, because controlling the boards coming and going. So, drill is, I want to protect this. That's the whole point of making a frame and a panel, so the panel, the biggest part of it, can have some independent action. To make sure that I don't, in the process of gluing these joints, glue the panel in also, I'm going to smear a little bit of paste wax on the edges and the corners of the panel where they could be affected by the glue. Try not to get any on the surface where it could ultimately affect the finish. It shouldn't be that hard. I mean, I can aim reasonably well and get the edges of these things. It's only half, 3/4 of an inch on each side that I have to really worry about. The glue isn't going to migrate much further than that in the joint. Anyway, so I'm going to do that next. I've got some paste wax right here because I just waxed up a bowl. And I should be able to do this somewhat carefully and get a little bit of color. I'll show you what I'm doing. Come on closer. So, the glue is going to get all over this stuff. But if I'm careful and don't get any wax on the surface, I should be able to do that. And my hands don't touch anything. Anyway, so I don't know, are you still watching? Barely. Pull you back. I mean, you got it, right? All right. Sorry about all that. Anyway. So this is such a silly little thing, right? But this could, some really dry, heating the house winter night, you'll hear this cracking sound, and at least it won't be this piece. Who knows what it'll be, some beam in my house. Okay, that's this side. Let's flip it over and do something similar on the bottom. I mean, this is simple, but it's effective. How do you beat that, right? It'd be different if it was difficult and effective. You might feel more rewarded by it being effective, but this is just easy to do. Hard to believe that you wouldn't do it. Okay, that's done. Waxed. The first step of gluing is to unglue, right? Or something like that. All right, now it's just a matter of to wet the pieces, all the joints, and dampen them. We'll do that next. All right, so I keep a little jug of water around and a sponge. Get a little sponge in it. That's great. Sometimes I get a little confused, and I've got this nasty old jug that I bottle that I keep water in, you know, for right on the bench. And you know, saving the trouble of walking all the way over to the sink. Anyway, sometimes I get a little confused and I reach for it and I drink it rather than the Gatorade or whatever I've got. I feel pretty stupid doing that. But here we go. I'm wetting all of the joints because I'm using a cyanoacrylate glue. We're calling it Gorilla Glue, I think, at the moment. Which, you know, I'm not even going to go there. So this should be easy. Should clamp up pretty easily too, if I ever get to that point. I've already put a coat of shellac on the pieces, all the pieces, the panel and the sticks. I've done that ahead of time because I didn't like the grain. I mean, the grain was really wild on it, and my finishing on it up to that point had been somewhat unproductive. The sanding was just moving the fibers back and forth, so I decided that it would make sense to seal it using the shellac as a sanding sealer, and then sand that. Did a great job, which also has a residual effect of protecting a little bit of this from getting glue on it. The glue will still get on it, but it won't harden up and stain it. And that's the trick. Okay, so I'm going to glue, I don't know what. Glue the tenons. You know what, I'm going to put glue on, I'm going to get a brush. And I'm just going to brush glue all over it. Brush. Buy these little really inexpensive acid brushes by the box. I get them as Christmas presents. Thank you very much, Debbie. Pretty nice. Come on. Well, that isn't working. There, finally. Okay. So I'm getting glue on the tenon itself and on the shoulder. I typically put glue on both surfaces that I'm gluing. And I probably should continue to do that. This stuff foams a little bit, and that's maybe good. I'm not sure. But that one's going to go there. Nice. Let's do the other one like that. Pretty good. Smearage. Looks good. Looks good. All right. Put that there. So this one will go. I've done something wrong. It's supposed to be another piece of tape on this. I've turned this upside down. All right. There we go. This will go there. Come on. Come on. There we go. Okay. I've got some blocks of plywood I'm going to throw underneath here. Excuse me for a second. Go this way. Like that. And then like this. Okay, better. Better. Susan. Okay. And there we go with that. Loving it. Just loving it. Okay, now I'm going to smear a little bit into the joints here. Not much. Just a little bit. Just to be, on the safe side. Nothing hungry for glue. That's the trick. And all right, and that should be enough to make me happy. And this will go here. That will go there. That's good. This goes here. That slid right on. Pretty nice. I'm going to move this block to the corner. This block up to that corner. Good. Now I did nothing to protect these blocks, which I should think seriously about right now. I'm going to get some wax paper. This is way more wax paper than I need, I know. But if I get this last piece out, come on. Nothing ever stuck to way more wax paper than you needed. There. Locked up, glued, throw some clamps on. Hopefully this will work out. Well, that's taking forever. There we go, finally. And we're going across. I'm going to do that and put a stick on like that and push that into this stick, possibly. Let's see how that works. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Registration is pretty good. Glue starting to really ooze out, which is hopefully a good sign. All right, yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. It's sticking out, and I'm getting, glue all over everything. I should have put my gloves on. It's too late for that now. I need to put a pair of sticks on the inside of that. Hold on just a minute. not going to say I told you so, but too much wax paper turns out to work out pretty well sometimes. There we go, and that's shifted over nicely, and that's all nicely registered. Great. And my thicknesses are good. This could take a little bit of sandwiching. Going to spin this around. If you're squeamish, don't watch. This joint came out a little bit loose, and it's not flat enough. And that's why I've got tape on it, because I marked it. And I'm going to try to spin this all around. Ease. Okay. I need to get this. Away from this stuff. Should plan these things out better. I know that. Okay, that should be all right. That got wandered. I don't know where those things are now. Don't worry about it. All right, another piece of wax paper for the top of that one. And I'm going to throw a little T-block on, throw a clamp on it, and that should take care of it. It's just, maybe that's enough. All right, that's in. All good. All good. Looks like hell, but it's all good. All snug. Everything's lined up. Panels floating, waxed edges. Glue's going to set up. We'll get to that tomorrow. In the meantime, I think I'm going to do a little lathe work on the legs. Fill in the day. All right, thanks for watching. Well, we've got this is glued, set up, all set to go. Break this down and see how we did, which is always, you know, a certain amount of excitement, although it's kind of predictable, but every now and then you're surprised. Oh my God, I didn't see that coming, you know, that sort of thing. Anyway, so I get, at least first look, seems good. Let's get this stuff out of the way. Wax paper, excess glue. There is really no top or bottom to this, so I don't really think I need the tape any longer. That helped me keep track of where I was at the time. I guess I use this. So you can imagine what's going to be next is a quick moment of assessment, and then some getting rid of some of the glue residue or excess. It's all good. All right. And you watching? What do you think? Sure, you can see what's going on. So here's some glue popped up. I'm going to, I think, switch to a smaller chisel. That's too small. And that's too wide. This is nice. It's a 3/4 inch. Just, you know, I won't get carried away that way. If I'm lucky, right, and I can get that deft control that I feel as though I've developed over the years, I can just cut the glue off the surface and leave the finish behind. And it doesn't look awful. And I'm done. Alright, we're back. Side pieces. I'm going to go don't know which way, but probably like that. On like that. This one probably on like that. Yeah. And I'm going to cut a tongue on this and a groove in this and miter these things together into a frame, and that will be the top tray of the surface. Looks great. I'm pleased so far. Let's get rid of some more glue. I'm probably going to do a little bit of touch-up planing and sanding on this joint to make this as flat as I can possibly make it. And it's all going to get refinished anyway, so that doesn't much matter that I'm going to disturb the finish. Joints are not perfect, but pretty close. Pretty close. A little bit of up, a little bit of down. We've got a little bit of a outline crack around the panel, which is good. It's actually what I was hoping for. You saw that I waxed it earlier, so the glue won't really stick, which ultimately means that when the humidity changes and the size of the panel changes, it won't crack, because it won't be stuck, I think. But in the meantime, I got a little teeny bit of glue actually in the joint. It's not doing anything other than filling it. That looks better. Same thing happened here. We'll clean it up. Looks good. All right, so I'm going to do some sanding, and I'll bring you back. Okay, so here's probably the worst joint in the whole thing. Got my sander here with some 220 sandpaper on it. There is no gap here, so anytime you see that surface of glue, it means that it's on top of one or the other, and from the feel it's on top of this one. So let's see what happens. I'll sand a little bit off this side and feather it onto that. And that's gone, a little teeny bit right there. And now that's gone. That's it. Wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. I'm pretty pleased. All right, let's try this one. Same thing. We'll do that, like that. Hit this. This feels like this is high. This glue's on top. Says this is high, but then here it's on that side, so that means this is high. So this is twisted a little bit. Little. All right, and the operative word here was a little. It was just a very little bit. Good, good. Okay, swing the next one around, and we'll do that. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. Right, well that looks great. which is great, just great. All right, one more corner. And this side's high. And that's what that says. All right. Little flash. Not much. All right. And that was 220 grit sandpaper. So, I mean, it wasn't a big deal. But it's done. It's clean. And it is, oh, wow. Ready to go. So, it's now, I think this is going to be the top. This is going to be the outside edge. I want tongues cut on 3 sides. Mark those 3 sides right now. So I know to do that. This is the top and that's the tongue. This is the top and that's the tongue. And this is the top and that's the tongue. And that's that. Now, let's go cut some grooves and then whittle some tongue and then go through the process of getting the miters right and getting it glued. That's today's project.